Hey guys, it's me, Double B, Bully Boudreaux, and I'm here with my review of Impact Wrestling for the week of December 29th, 2011. They open up the program with a segment involving Sting, Madison Rayne, and the Knockouts, and apparently the setup for the big uh, main event of the night. You kind of hear me kind of about the main event, but anyway, I considered it to be a good one. You know, Gail, Kim, and Mickie James for the Knockouts title. I have an incorrect note on here. I don't know why I have Madison Rayne in my notes as the person who lost the match. I'll tell you that when I get to it. But yeah, that's how they kind of opened it. It was a interesting opening for Impact Wrestling this week. The next match was the first of the semifinals of the wild card tag team tournament they had. It was AJ Styles and Kazarian taking on Abyss and Steiner, and you would consider Abyss and Steiner probably a team that wasn't going to work, and it kind of went that route where Abyss and Steiner wasn't going to work, and it turns out what team's going to go over more, a genuine team like AJ Styles and Kazarian, or a team that that two people hate each other, Abyss and Steiner, and of course logic dictates that the latter would not win, and of course Abyss and Steiner ended up, well, Abyss turned on Steiner, and then after the match, by the way, AJ Styles and Kazarian advanced into the finals of the tournament, and after the match was over, Bully Ray comes out to confront Abyss about it. I mean, ask him what he wants and what's his ultimatum. And Abyss said he wants Bully Ray at the next pay-per-view, and if Bully Ray beats him, then Abyss would join Immortal. However, there's a the stipulation there's another stipulation to the match. It's going to be Abyss and Bully Ray in a Monsters Ball match. When was the last time we've seen an absolutely good Monsters Ball match? Yeah, this has actually got me interested. Excuse me, but yeah, it's really got me interested. Abyss and Bully Ray in a Monsters Ball match. Considering Bully Ray's history in ECW and Abyss's history with a Monsters Ball match, yeah, that's going to be good. A lot of people can say what they want, but I still say that's going to be good. Um, Next up, we had the third match in the best of three series between Zema Ion and Anthony Nece. Now, if I had my way, I would let both of these guys into the match and let it be a five-way because both of these guys are just incredibly talented. They have a ton of potential. They have bright futures in the professional wrestling business. But the third match, it was a contract on a pole match. Again, both guys, both athletes in this match just really, really shine. I'm very, very impressed with both of these gentlemen. Like I said, they both have a bright future. If not anywhere else, they have a bright future in the X Division in TNA. But Zema Ion wins the match and advances to the four-way match at Genesis for the X Division title, which included Austin Aries, Kid Cash, and Jesse Sorensen. Then we had a segment. We had a match with Douglas Williams and Gunner. Well, I don't know if we really can call it a match. Apparently, they're trying to put Gunner over as being the new ambulance guy. Remember, in when Mike Awesome went to WCW, what was his niche? Sending people to the hospital. Apparently, now they're trying to make Gunner the new Mike Awesome. Is the way I'm looking at it right now. He's not caring if he wins his match or not. The only thing he's caring about in his gimmick now is sending people to the hospital, and that's exactly what he's doing, is sending people to the hospital. I mean, he's done it to Garrett Bischoff, which we really don't care too much about because, Garrett's daddy is running TNA in a sense. Uh, we also had Jesse Neal, and the way they put him out, like, guys, if you don't know, Jesse Neal's contract is done in TNA, and the way they took him out is they had Gunner DDT him on the floor and had him sent out in an ambulance. So what does that say about Douglas Williams? He did the exact same thing to Douglas Williams. He DDT'd him on the floor. So is Douglas Williams' contract in trouble? Is Douglas Williams' contract done in TNA? That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, then we had now last week we had an incredibly horrible match with Tara Tessmacher and Madison Rayne. Next one we this week we have one that was just equally as boring, and that was a segment that followed this match with Bobby Roode and his supposed best friend from lacrosse or something like that. That's how boring it was. I really didn't pay too much attention to it. I mean, if they wanted to use a plant in the match where they were gonna they'll have him put him over as a best friend of Bobby Roode and have him turn on him. Give the guy some dang mic skills. Give him some charisma, some ability to act. This guy they used last night had none of it. None of it. So this by far was just as boring, stupid segment as the Tara Tessmacher Madison Rayne segment from last week. That's how bad it was. Okay? Following that, we had the other semifinal wild card tag team match. It was Samoa Joe and Magnus taking on Eric Young and ODB. Oh my God. ODB, I guess, has a new signature move. She made Magnus motorboat her. Basically took his head and went, and then the look that Magnus gave had one of three looks. Like one, I got to motorboat ODB. Nick Bondage, beware. Number two, I got motorboated by ODB. What was in there? Or three, I got motorboated by ODB. What the hell was that smell? That's the that's what that look Magnus gave to me, and not only that, ODB gave Magnus the old grab on the Union Jack, if you know what I mean. The whap. That's all I can describe it as. That's all I can describe it as. I mean, ODB felt up Magnus. But anyway, I guess Eric Young kind of got jealous because that's when he decided to strip, took off his shorts. But anyway, all I can say is I'm still trying to get the image out of my head of Magnus being motorboated and by ODB and then getting his butt slapped. Anyway, Samoa Joe and Magnus advance to the finals. So next week it'll be the finals of the wild card tag team tournament. It's going to be AJ Styles and Kazarian taking on Samoa Joe and Magnus, which should make for a very interesting finals match. I mean, which team will go over? Would it be the genuine tag team with AJ Styles and Kazarian because they're part of Fortune, or want to do it like that? Sorry, like that. That's how you're supposed to do it. This is the Four Horsemen. This is Fortune. But anyway, AJ it's Samoa Joe and Magnus and AJ Styles and Kazarian. Again, very interesting match. Now we had a match that was set up by Sting, courtesy of what Kurt Angle did last week in that horrible bar segment where he fucked up every kick he did on the guys in the bar. And that was Kurt Angle and RVD. Now, normally you wouldn't expect a bad match from Kurt Angle and RVD because we know what kind of performers they are. We know what kind of trained wrestlers they are. That they can actually put on good quality matches. This, however, was a piece of crap. Now, I can understand the fact that we're going to use the ending part of it to put over the feud between Kurt Angle and James Storm. However, this was just a badly worked match between Kurt Angle and RVD. They could have done better. We could have we expect better out of them, but we just did not get that out of them, and that's a shame because we know that these are former champion style wrestlers, and you just didn't get that out of him tonight. We just did not get that out of Kurt Angle or RVD that night. So I'm just really shocked and appalled that the way they worked that match. Then, of course, the main event, it was Gail Kim and Mickie James. Now, if you guys didn't see Madison Rayne dressed up as of a Jeff Hardy mark, you know, I was kind of noticing that. I was telling that to the Studley man, Ashley. I was looking in the crowd, and there was a chick with a hoodie on with Jeff Hardy makeup. And I'm like, that's got to be a really big Jeff Hardy mark to come to the crowd, kind of dressed in his gimmick in a sense. Now with Sting's fans, it's kind of expected because, what has made Sting put his gimmick over the most throughout his career was the face paint. Jeff Hardy wasn't into the face paint so much until the late '90s into the early 2000s in his career, including in his second run in the WWE and his run in the TNA. He had the face paint on. So to have someone, kind of dress up as Jeff Hardy's gimmick, I had to figure it was either going to be a really big mark for Jeff Hardy or a plant in the crowd. And, it turned out to be a latter. It turned out to be Madison Rayne dressed up in Jeff Hardy's gimmick. But anyway, as far as the match is concerned, Mickie James and Gail Kim, it's not very often we see a knockouts match, a knockouts title match, be the main event for either a pay-per-view or an Impact Wrestling show. But they really worked it really well. I mean, you saw some really good spots from Mickie James and Gail Kim, and we also saw some really good bumps taken by these two divas, or knockouts rather, or ladies wrestlers, I would like to coin the phrase. Especially on the outside, when Gail Kim took a nasty neckbreaker bump on the outside on the floor. Not very often you want to see ladies wrestlers who are willing to take those kind of bumps on the outside of the ring. But Gail Kim did it. She took that bump and it really looked nasty, to be honest with you. I don't mean in the sense that it was poorly executed. I mean the smack that it made, it went like that. And it looked really, really bad, to be honest with you. And I'm not talking about on the sense of that it was badly before, and it was like, oh my God, her neck was broken bad. That's the kind of way it looked. But Gail Kim ends up getting on top because, well, getting on top. Scratch that. Please don't make any comments that I said that. Anyway, but then again, you guys will make some comments about that. Anyway, Gail Kim ends up getting the win because when the referee was distracted, Madison Rayne, and the Jeff Hardy's get up comes in and nails Mickie James with her finisher, and Gail Kim comes up and pins her for the 1, 2, 3 and retains the title, and they end the show like that. Um, Now, if I were to pick a match of the night, it'd be really hard because there weren't really that many good matches. Well, I scratch that. I'm, it's hard to say because Gail Kim and Mickie James was a really good match, and Zema, Zema Ion and Anthony Nece with the contract on a pole was a really good match. So I'm going to go with the contract on a pole match, with Gail Kim and Mickie James being a close second. So well, that's been my review on Impact Wrestling this week. What I would like to know is were your thoughts on Impact Wrestling this week, guys? Um, Again, you know how to do it. Either the comments in the comment section below or post up a video response with your thoughts on Impact Wrestling. I'd love to hear back from you guys. And of course, if you guys like what I had to say in this video, do me a real huge favor and hit that like button. So with that being said, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux saying thank you very much for watching.